ISIS now claiming it is sending 400 foreign fighters to attack Europe. As we learn, the attackers are terrifying ties to the bombings. Here to react to this is our terror panel from all different aspects of the war on terror. You know Bo Dietl, detective extraordinaire, Naveed Jamali, and a journalist named Michael Weir, who we asked to stay an extra 90 minutes to talk about this because it's so serious. Welcome to all of you. Bo, first off, when you hear Europe, you know how these countries are tied together. There's at least 400 fighters who have flooded in there, embedded in there. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction, first of all, is these are the same attackers that attacked 6 months ago in Paris. They're within the same block radius. This is definitely an intelligent breakdown. All they had to do is put surveillance on these people over there, and they would have found out what's going on. And send undercovers in there, operational. A lot of these have criminal records, these little punks. They got criminal records, and what they could have done is flip some other ones, get some undercovers. We did it in New York City, remember, in the 1990s with the mosque over there in New Jersey, where we were able to find a blind cleric and all that. Right now, we're at a point right now where we need intelligence. When they step up in New York and they say we don't need to infiltrate certain areas in Muslim, that's ridiculous. I talked to Ray Kelly yesterday, and 2 cases were broken by undercovers in there. We have to prepare ourselves, and the only way we're going to stop is not by machine gun toting cops out there. We've got to get intelligence to stop the bomb before it goes off, and the only way is get intelligence, get inside of there.
But Naveed, you know what happened. You saw that the president says that's not what we do. I just left a country that did that, and we saw Commissioner Bratton come out and say Ted Cruz is not going to win the election because he said stupid things like this.
Well, you know, to capitalize on that number, it's not just 400 fighters that ISIS has trained. It's potentially 5,000 Europeans that have actually gone to Syria to fight. That's the bigger number. Because those 5,000...
Because they keep going back and forth.
That's right. And look, Europe has virtual borders. To Bo's point, that there's a big distinction between the U.S. and Europe, and there's a reason why we're safer. It's not luck. It's exactly as Bo said. It's an aggressive, proactive intelligence service that goes out and tries to find these guys, identify them before they even set foot on a plane to come here.
And you, of course, have you lived through this. You know what it was like watching them fight in the Middle East, Michael Weir.
Yeah, but I mean, it's easier said than done, some of these things. I mean, our great weakness throughout the wars on terror has been human intelligence. It's a lot harder than you think to get someone inside these organisations. It's not like flipping and turning someone from the mafia.
Well, look at... Investigation is my business. All I can say, these guys come from the same block, same area, and it was proven back when they attacked in Paris. Wouldn't you think that they would have an intelligence group in there? They know exactly what they would. This is not like Stevie Wonder time. They know what block they come from. This is the same attackers.
Well, don't forget also that in these particular pockets of Europe, these are virtually unpatrolled and no-go zones because they are Muslim communities and immigrant communities that have been completely left to their devices. So they're like mini states within these cities.
You do? You get somebody who owes time. You lock him up. He's facing 10, 15 years. You flip him. You send him in there like he's going to be a terrorist with him. Get the information.
And the guy was talking. We do understand, and
but don't forget,
push this operation forward.
That's an important point. But you know, the thing with the Belgium, I think they really messed up.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah, they were following these guys, and they frankly just waited too long.
Oh, you know what? A guy that never waited too long to get involved was Michael Weir. You know, when the war in Afghanistan started, he was involved. When the Iraq started, he was there, and he's got an HBO show coming up. But when you talk about terrorists and the mindset, Al Qaeda and ISIS, you know all about it. Here's a scene from the documentary coming up this weekend.
I wasn't just watching their tapes. They began taking me to secret meetings in the dead of night. That's my breathing. As I'm doing the filming. It was frightening. I surrendered myself to these guerrillas. Men the Americans were hunting, and I had found. Not knowing if they were friends or if they were going to kill me. I guess I knew it was insane, but I couldn't help myself.
Wow. That's the enemy.
Yeah, well,
You're
it is.
The enemy. You have no protection. You're behind enemy lines. Now they're in Europe.
Yeah, well, they're around the world now, you know. And those guys that we just saw in that clip, they were actually nationalist insurgents, ex-Iraqi military who at that point were fighting us. Fast forward 3 years, and they became our
become
allies.
ISIS.
No, they became our allies, those guys. And
Syrian awakening.
they're the ones who started assassinating ISIS for us, because they knew where ISIS slept at night, and we did not.
And guess what
and
happened,
we don't
Michael?
have those allies
And
on the
guess what
ground.
happened? We left them alone, and they got assassinated themselves.
It's,
That's
it's a
right.
horrible thing
That's
to
right.
know where their capital is, and they're sending messages back and forth. And damn it, we're not bombing the hell out of them right now.
Well, we are
want you to
bombing
get-
them, but you've got to get a target to bomb. You can't just obliterate.
There's got to be troops on the ground.
Well, it may come to that. Eventually, someone has to go in there to fight and die to kill these people and take these cities back. But is it going to be our troops? That's the question.
Scares me the most.
Because aren't we exhausted?
There's a distinction between Europe and the United States. I want to put myself on the pedestal here just for a second. I'm first-generation American. My father's Pakistani. There are two very proud moments in my life: the birth of my children and receiving commission in the United States Navy. There is a difference between people here and people in Europe. The problem with Europe is you have people that are not integrated. There's poverty. You know, it's ripe for exploitation by places like ISIS. We do not have it. Now, to Bo's point, that doesn't mean we don't do surveillance. It doesn't mean we don't be proactive. It doesn't mean there's not a real threat here. But there's a distinction we have to recognize, that we have done the right thing. The Europeans have not.
Go right to Brussels. You would think we knew exactly where they were coming out of. You had surveillance cameras on it, bringing those bags into that car service taxi. Right then and there, you could have reacted to it if you had proper intelligence.
First you need to know that they're the guys you're looking for. And some of these guys, we don't know they're terrorists until they commit their first terrorist act.
It's just it's changed so much. Right? The war used to be there. Now you get the
coming
sense
here.
it's here.
But the Turks actually turn them on. So I mean, it's
Well, onto one of them, but that doesn't give you all of
Either
them.
I got to tell Bill Hemmer we got to take his next half hour, or I got to go to break right now. All right, guys?
But it's coming to America, and we've got to be prepared. And intelligence is the only way, and we've got to be less so worried about political correctness.
Right. I'm not worried. Bo, I'm concerned. I have to go to a break. Bo Dietl, Naveed Jamali, and Michael Wear. Look forward to seeing you on HBO.
Thanks very much. Good on you, fellas.
The name of your documentary is Only the Dead See the End of War. Great job, guys.